Number 6, do you think that Christianity and science mix? I think that that faith of any kind and rational discourse or exploration or scientific exploration of the world can be reconciled, certainly. I mean, it's testified to the fact that there are various prominent scientists at work in the world today who are responsible for some incredible creations and innovations, who are men and women of particular faiths, or who are deists. I do think that the acceptance of certain scientific principles does require the putting down or the abandonment of particular incarnations of Christianity. I don't think that a biblically literal view of the world can be reconciled with a scientific one, for example. And I certainly don't think that science can be used, or scientific inquiry can be used in any way to explore notions such as God. God is a metaphysic concept, and is therefore best left to the arenas of philosophy and poetry, etc., etc. For the simple fact that one cannot observe God, one cannot find a piece of God, slice him off, and bring it back to the laboratory to test it. 7. How do you feel about the Bible? Is it the inerrant, inspired word of God? I obviously don't believe that it's the inerrant or inspired word of God. I certainly don't believe that it's inerrant. I regard the Bible in the same way I regard the Enuma Elish or Gilgamesh, the Iliad, or any other piece of epic, mythic writing. It's a collection of oral traditions and folk tales, I suppose, that have been collated together, and it's a work of great poetry, sometimes of great wisdom, sometimes of great ignorance. I don't think the problem with the status of biblically inspired religions in the world derives from the Bible itself. I think it derives from how human beings tend to interpret the Bible and what parts they choose to take on board. And this is something that all adherents of any particular biblical faith do, whether they like to believe it or not. Even the most ardently fundamentalist uses, albeit subconsciously, their critical faculties to pick which parts of the Bible they adhere to and which they don't. Because if they didn't, they would be arrested very, very quickly. And I think that's a good thing. It's a good thing that human beings use their critical faculties to determine what to take away from any particular material that they're exposed to. Yes, the Bible, along with various other mythological texts, has a pride of place on my bookshelf, right next to a collection of Nordic myths and ancient Greek myths, etc., etc., and Celtic traditions, which I regard as no more or no less. I'm certainly not one of these more vitriolic atheists who has absolute contempt for the Bible. Number 8, do you believe that Jesus Christ existed? I believe, given the historical evidence, that there was probably a man who inspired the stories of Jesus Christ, but I do believe that it's rather incidental. The Jesus Christ who appears in the books of the Bible is a mythological character. I mean that in the sense that he is written as a mythological character. He's a particular archetype, the Messiah, the sage, and this becomes rather evident if one explores mythology in the wider sense, or simply fiction. The same archetype appears in so many forms of fiction. Number 9, do you feel that geography, where you were born, has any difference in whether a person is a Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, or any other religion? Absolutely. I think geography plays a significant part, as does obviously culture. Were I born in modern-day India, for example, I would most likely belong to one of 3 faiths. I would most likely be Muslim, Hindu, or at the outside I might be Buddhist. Were I born in the Middle East, I would almost certainly be one form of Muslim. And I do feel incredibly thankful to have been born to a country where there are so many different traditions all amalgamated together, one can effectively pick and choose. How would you feel if all Christianity could be proved? Well, you see, I have a significant problem with the notion that Christianity or any religion could be proved beyond a shadow of a doubt. I mean, first of all, what form of Christianity? What interpretation? And how would you go about that? I mean, what evidence and what assessments could you put them through in order to prove that particular form of Christianity? If somehow it did come about, if one particular form of Christianity were proven true, absolutely, then I don't think it would have any profound effect, to be quite honest. As all of the problematics would disappear, the articles of faith, etc., and the uncertainty would disappear. All one would have to determine is what position one holds with regards to the new status quo. I would have to say, if it were particular kinds of Christianity, then I would have to establish myself on the side of the demons, the devils, and the witches. For example, if Fred Phelps' form of Christianity turned out to be true, then I would unhesitatingly sign up for the armies of hell. Because it would be clear to me that the God that exists is monstrous. More monstrous by far than anything Satan has ever conceived. But no, it seems to be one of those questions where really it's impossible to say unless one can be in that situation. I can project and I can beat about the bush, but that's about it. Anyway, I thank you very much for the questions, actually. They were quite fun to answer. And I'd absolutely love it if anyone else could put their two penneth worth in, either as a video response or in the comments section below, and let me know what you think. And also go and check out this video.